So today we're going back over some of the wingers to see who is relevant now, because FUT Birthday has blew everybody out the water. In general, this promo has been exceptional in terms of kind of what we're looking at. If you look at all of the FUT Birthdays, now the 5-star is not the be all and end all. It does make a lot of sense for the attacking players. When it comes to the defenders, I must admit, I do like a bit of Virgil there, but the double play star plus, the increase in stats, and the extra bonus of a 5-5 is very interesting to see, because normally it's only a set amount of people. We have got everybody, every single FUT Birthday, every single, pretty much most FUT Birthday evolution has got the 5-star, which means technically, if you've got somebody with the same playstyle plus, the same stats, the same rating, the same overall, the same everything, but one has a 5-5, he's going to be slightly better. So let's get straight into this list then. So straight off the bat, we're going to throw Diaby into the miss, because obviously we have got a better version. Most of these players now are going through a cheaper and cheaper price. It's very easy to see where a lot of them should go. Adama has now got some evolutions, not quite in there, but he's definitely getting a few. We did see one that kind of came through last weekend that really just didn't hit it for me. Garnacho, I'd probably miss out on. Caicedo, now we've got to be a little bit more picky. I would still say slightly usable, but definitely less and less as we go on. We're obviously looking at Evo, not Ginola, Evo Doku. Ginola, to be honest, I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't had anything during this promo, to be fair. We've obviously had the Track Star, and yes, they're waiting for the next big boom. We have got the UEFA Dream Chasers and the Immortals, so I don't know, like UEFA, obviously Dream Chasers is going to be more based around normal players rather than heroes and icons, I'm assuming. The Immortals, I can't even tell you what that is. I have absolutely zero clue of what they could truly be doing with that one. We obviously look at a lot of the lower rated players as well. Someone like Rafinha now, he's got a better version in an SBC. There's going to be a lot of misses. Gittins, good old Jamie, it's going to be kind of up there. Like, I would like to see, we've still got the team of the years that obviously are incredible. I don't think there's any question with a lot of these team of the years that they're always going to be the best of the best, especially at the moment. I think they got the wingers absolutely spot on when they started to do them. The Vinnies, the Salas, the Hansons, the Reetons, even James as well, all coming in exceptional. We have got the likes of Neto now that more than likely would be more so in an Evo, and doesn't mean that, like, for instance, Dembele and Neto especially, they could be classed as usable, but realistically, they are absolutely all on the brink of getting into the next set of Evos to go up a little. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics, and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with El Dorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. And I must admit, it's always easier to get the top players done first, so let's kind of go through a few of them. Obviously the likes of Bale. To be honest, I probably would still put him into that top meta. I think as an SBC in general and as a player, he's absolutely in there. Another one, I must admit, Rashford. Now, I'd possibly go one down for him now, purely on the fact that he has got a 93. I think the double play style plus on the fantasy is slightly better, so I would go one under, but to be honest, the 92 here is still very, very good. And when you look at the top players, and normally price does give you at least a standpoint to go with. It's not necessarily the be all and end all on some of them, but it is a very good indication on a lot of fronts. When you look at the top players, the Ronaldinhos, obviously, Mbappe's, Henry's, who can play left wing, but then you go a bit further down, we look at the Ronaldinhos again. We see the Hazards, the Yamals, you obviously see the Salas, and the brand new Ababo, we see a bit of Leao as well. And if you keep going, you will see a little bit of Rashford. One that I need to add in, Kvaratskhelia. Didn't forget about him, to be honest. And we look through a few more of them. Obviously, with a look at the likes of Hansen, I think any version of her personally does go to the absolute top. We see the kind of underneath version of Hazard now. We obviously got himself in the better version, which is an exceptional card in himself. What we're looking at, a fantasy captain of 94 rated, which is obviously going to put him into that very, very top meta. I'd still say, to be fair, the 91 is still a very, very good card in himself. Hazard is Hazard. He's an incredible player whenever it comes to being in them top sort of ratings, as we've seen in many, many years of Hazard being gracing this game. He's still, to be fair, he's only 500 now on the 91, which isn't going to be far off potentially getting evolutions. And the good thing is, more than likely isn't potential when he does get to the ability of having an evolution. There might be triple playstyle pluses by then. And even then, you look at like the Georgie Best, they're all going into the very usable sort of side. I think Jarzinho maybe could be pushed up one more, but I think at this point now, we'd be looking at him really there more so than anything. I think Mahrez would come into maybe more usable, slightly a bit further down into Evo potential. Same with Diane, like she's just not the same girl as she was last year. Like last year she was incredible everywhere. She was just an absolute dynamite going down the wing. Her and Hansen were kind of balancing out. And this year, she's got the rating. Like she's had that rating for ages, but just not really done too much with it. We obviously go with Coleman into the Evo. At this point with the Thunderstruck Saka, I would sack him off, to be honest. Maybe go in for an Evo later on down the line, but I would wait for another upgrade now, to be honest. If I'm being brutal with him, I think he just needs another upgrade. They never really get him right, which is such a shame. Ginola would go into the very usable quite comfortably. Rodrigo, now he's got two different versions if we kind of go through them. We did get a, was it Fantasy? We got the 93, which is eventually what we knew that was going to happen. We obviously got the mode mastery that you could have put 18 tokens or something like that in, and you'd get him as a very good card for back then. Now we have got a better version, and we knew that this card was never going to be the overall best for him, but in general, I never thought they'd give him the quick step finesse straight off the bat, the next upgrade, like a few months down the line. But going from that, we know we can't even Evo to get them slightly decent playstyle pluses. I think you could definitely still get away with Rodrigo, but this 93, I must admit, is coming into that top category. Them playstyle pluses, amongst everything else, are absolutely incredible. We still see a few of the players now. I'd go Kvaratskhelia. I'd probably miss out on this one, especially when we do have this 94 down here. It is just such a better upgrade. It is one of them, and I must admit, like, with him, I think he's absolutely brilliant, and I do rate him as an absolute top winger you can go for. I just never think he's a top meta. I think he's absolutely number one in terms of very usable. Like, he is up there. But when we kind of speak at him against the team of the years, against the Rodrigos, against a lot of the talent, when we come up against someone like a Leao, I just don't see him as that top meta. I see him as a very, very solid card, but he most definitely would be beat out, in my opinion, to the Leaos quite comfortably every time. We obviously have got quite a few of the solid cards. Ronaldinho now, for me, needs an upgrade. As much as everybody will still say that he's fantastic, and yes, he may be still being able to do all of the skills and everything, but when you've got the array of talent that we've got, this card needs the upgrade. And most definitely, we look at the 94, another incredible card. Now, I don't think that one will be anywhere near an Evo at that point. I'd personally just go straight for the 95 if everything was easy, obviously. But we got 3 million on the 94, 1.6 on the 93. I just think at this point in the game, when you look at them stats and you say, I've spent one, like, other than an SBC, obviously, I've spent 1.6 million on this card, you are paying for the name. That no questions, no ask, like, you are paying for the name in comparison to every other player that you can go and get. The Trickster, it is what it is. I don't personally like it. I get why it's on Ronaldinho. It's fair enough. Then going and doubling your price nearly and paying 3 million for just a stat upgrade is outrageous. Now, at least with the 95, I don't like either of these playstyle pluses. So at least you are looking at a 95. There's no chance of another upgrade. He is 5'5", which is phenomenal. I still wouldn't pay for it. I would definitely be looking at your Rashfords, at your Leaos, somebody with the Playstyle pluses that absolutely work. Now, if I'm being very controversial with it, I think the 94 would be very usable, and obviously the FUT birthdays is got to be up in that top meta, but I don't think that 93 in comparison to a lot of these players over here will get into most people's even evolutions. We have the Team of the Year blueprint with a triple evolution, a triple Playstyle plus, and they're like 94 rated. I mean, why would I spend 1.6 mil on a card that I could get for 500k on a Team of the Year evolution? For me, that's just how it personally works. As much as I love Ronaldinho, he's incredible. Paying for the name, fair enough, pay what you want. But in terms of a usable card, I don't think he's up there. I really, especially because we don't come up against him. He's been an SBC for the past 2-3 months, and yet I barely ever come up against him. So it kind of tells me what I need to know. Obviously, Grealish will be lower down, and Naki Williams would be more so into the Evo. I think you could still get an Evo out of him. Figo, I'd go into more usable. Malin, I'd go the same now. I believe has he had the upgrade yet? What was it? It was Diaby. He did get the 92 Fantasy, which to be fair is a beautiful card. Obviously, we look at the 92. I think he's a very usable card. It's like Diaby. He may not be usable in the sense of maybe starting, but a super sub, something along the lines, works really, really well for the card. We still have the likes of Ribery now. Obviously, when we look at the top meta now, I think when we're looking through it, I think Abarbo puts himself in there. Jarvinho, the brand new cards. Obviously, we got the Roma trio this week. I think they are incredible. Jarvinho definitely got the, definitely got the kind of shortest straw between Dumbia, Abarbo, and himself. But he's still a very nice card, to say the least. Obviously, got a few more Evos in the lovely FUT birthday. I mean, then we look at McManaman. It's kind of into the usable, more so into the Evo category now. I probably would say Evo now. Nani, at this point, unfortunately, Nani is going to be a miss. Nico Williams would be into there. I do love a bit of Grassroots Evo, Grassroots Elise. Rogers, usable-ish. Salma, probably miss out on her for a new upgrade. Sane is definitely into the Evo. Sancho I just didn't enjoy, to be honest. Son. Now, Son has obviously had another massive upgrade in himself as well with his fantasy. Normally, we do put him into the striker tier list, so it's hence why he's not in this one. The winter wildcard is a little bit under it now, obviously being the left wing. 290s, kind of, it's decent enough. He's got the finesse, he's got the Travella. He's a very good base statted card. This is most definitely the better version that you can go with. I still think you could get some usability out of Son, to be fair to him, but I do think the fantasy would be the best shout. Williams, I'd probably go into the no. Yildiz, I would as well. Martinelli has now got another upgrade, so I mean, you could still possibly use the numero foot in him, but I would say the 94 is going to be way better. We obviously have got the Smith. Smith in general is one of my favourite strikers in this, just in general. She is outrageously good, and the same as any version of her that she does get now in the FUT birthday. She obviously got herself into the Team of the Year, then obviously into the Winter Wildcard as well. But then also getting herself into a FUT birthday with the 5-5 was always nice. The quick step finesse, outrageous in itself. Griezmann with another version, which is always beautiful. Love a bit of numero foot with Griezmann, but he did get a FUT birthday as well that absolutely blows it out of the water. We also have Diallo coming in. Now, it was kind of half and half with him, to be honest. I've not necessarily been a massive fan of the card. I think he's good. He's got the incisive and a power shot. Kind of screams more cam, if anything, than more so than a winger, even if he does have the pace, if anything. But he has got a massive passing increase. So I think with the incisive pass, it's a little bit wasted on a wing type player. I think bringing him into the middle is much better in that scenario. But obviously, it still comes in very nice. I must admit, I do enjoy the card. Barcola will go the same. Miyama goes down. I miss on Rivaldo now. Foden, I still think, puts in a shift. Obviously, these 90s to 93s eventually will get into the point where you're like, okay, I need some sort of Evo for them. And eventually we will get into that point. By the looks of it, we're going straight into these 91s to 94s. A couple of promos before Team of the Season. So I feel like Team of the Season's going to be into your 97s, maybe even a couple of 98s, and then what does it be? Footies will be the 99s going into there. And to be honest, we look at the likes of Garnacho, Garincha now and think, well, where does he really go? I think you could still use him, but it'd kind of be like Ronaldinho. He needs something extra. I love the future star from him. I think it was a future star. It's a nice card. It's got the rapid, the technical. It's not my favorite playstyle pluses, but it's still very, very usable in himself. Like the same with Messi. Another card that I think is more of a cam. You can play him anywhere and he'll do well, but he realistically is more of a cam this year. Same with Vinny. Vinny kind of is just taking over at this point. And I think Yamal does the exact same as well. The 94 is outrageously good. We see the Adeyemi, we see the future coming in. I'd even say the same for Rodman. It was kind of like the Rodman versus Swanson debate. It's very easy to kind of play a part in that one. And most of the FUT birthdays, I'd say Salah wouldn't be in this top meta. I think the pinged pass kind of ruins him a little bit. Zaha, definitely usable. Martinelli, I'm just never a fan. I just don't think they upgrade the Arsenal cards well. Or well enough in my eyes. Like, I think when we look at a 94, they've got the wrong playstyle pluses. He's got some normal playstyles, which is nice. Pace-wise is good. It's a solid upgrade from the numero FUT, but there's nothing that sparks a massive debate. Like, you're saying that's a free overall into the 94. We're talking top end of overalls. And that's the card we get. It just, for me, isn't enough. I think he's usable, but we should be talking about a 94-95 Martinelli before team of the season, potentially going into them really, really high ends, and I think I'm just comfortably putting him in very usable, if I'm being brutal with him. I think Kelly kind of comes into the more usable. I think then we do the same with some of the future stars. Mitoma, he would either need the Evo or he needs the upgrade. If he gets the 91, I could see him moving up a little bit. Gnabry, definitely going into that for the decent upgrade of him, which then leads us into Garnacho, who has had a lovely upgrade again. Obviously got himself the 90 with no playstyle pluses, and finally we got the rapid and acrobatic with the 92. It's a solid card, but I mean it's very bog standard. When you look at a lot of these cards, there's nothing crazy about them. They're all very, very standard. They're everywhere in stats. You'll see a lot of pace, a bit of shooting, a lot of dribbling, solid amount of passing, physicality can spiral, 5-5, double playstyle plus, and that's every left winger and right wing we've got. So let me know down below what you think about this list. Make sure you do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you all for tomorrow's. Might even be a strikers one. Peace.